Yeah.
I actually opened up my sheet and I have no features.
I
Hey, you're the one who deleted them all.
You did it.
Feel like
did.
you
Remember, you did it.
shouldn't have done that.
Hey, it's just more work for me.
Well,
I remember everything I had on there, I think.
I'm gonna get.
As long as it wasn't like your race stuff and it was all class stuff.
Weren't you playing like a different version of Warlock anyway?
Yeah,
Like
no,
two?
I have it right here. I still have it here. What's it?
Now recording.
Hi, Craig.
Okay.
Venus.
Sorry.
I think everything is ready. So yes, you did explain fairly fully what happened last time. Yep. It was a lot of ambiguity. Zara was leading the pack. There was the moment where, yes, you realized that you could sort of reshape your yourself in a way, actively. You figured it out, at least for yourself there, Keel. And you are unsure of whether or not it was like a past version of yourself or a future version of yourself, but regardless, when it didn't disappear, it basically was dropped off a cliff. You got a little damaged, but that was to be expected. And then afterwards, yes, your symbol, the one of Vagos and Death's Hand, disappeared from the back of your neck. And let's see. I think after that, yeah, I think that's where we stopped it. I know that you all were kind of following Zara and forging your paths forward little by little. So, let's get it back to where we were.
Making our way towards the giant ball of light.
Making our way downtown. Walking fast.
Walking fast.
Making our way downtown.
Walking fast. Beating ass.
It's
We're
fast.
homebound.
What?
Sorry,
Did you say, please say you said beating ass.
Yeah, I said beating ass.
Okay, good.
Oh, that's not what I heard.
Damn it!
Making your way downtown, beating ass. Just thinking for a moment here. There's okay.
Let's make sure this stream stays at least PG.
Yep.
So after the debacle with Keel's darker version of herself, you all press forward. The strands of fate continue to form underneath your feet, Zara, as you lead the pack. Are we keeping the same pattern of
Yes.
travel? Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
I can't do anything else. I have to lead, so yeah.
Yes.
I would like the request to be put up front in case we need to, smack on some other goons.
I'll
So
be in
you're
the
gonna
back.
be behind Zara. Okay.
Yeah.
Middle.
Okay. Sorry, I just had to adjust myself. I'm going to change up some music. So you arrive eventually as the darkness is parting, Zara, at a small junction. It's the strands of fate that connect at your feet. They start to get dense, and they're not actively forming a path forward at this point. They are kind of more or less just building out from your current position. in all directions. So it's almost like it's forming a little bit of a platform.
Is it like a tall platform?
Well, no, it's more like a wide platform.
Okay.
It's starting to get wider. And from it, you see 3 separate and distinct, vaguely formed beginnings of paths.
God.
Azris, who is kind of behind the group and following along, he takes a few steps forward and leaves from behind the group and starts like walking up towards you, Zara. And he says, "This is where things are going to get a bit more difficult." And he turns to you and looks at you, Zara, and he says, "No matter what I tell you, you are going to form and take your own path. Is that clear?"
I looks back at him and goes, "All right."
No matter how much I might fight you, no matter what I do personally, you are going to go your own way. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does. What do you expect to happen?
The past.
Did you say past?
Yeah, he says the past. He says, "I have a feeling that Vagos is going to attempt to use our own pasts against us. And what I mean by that is that I am meant to go a way that I have already forged myself, my own fate. You must keep me away from it. Is that clear?"
Yes.
He says, "I think with your help and everyone else in turn, we can all collectively forge a path." What's that, Keltry? I see right there.
I'm not metagaming, I swear. The match started.
So, well, first off, to answer a couple of questions here. Keel, no, and Zara, no. We did not confirm specifically whether or not we are going to keep Larath in as the spark of creation. However, you see Azris start to look away, and you hear like these dissonant whispers from the shadows. You can't tell what they're saying, but Azris starts to walk towards a very specific path. And it's like a far left one out of the 3. And you see him, you see like these very bright silvery tendrils of fate start to form where he is going. But now is going to have to be your time to act, because he clearly wants to go one way.
Mm-hmm. Can I roll? I don't have my glasses on. I'm sorry. I need to get like really close to the screen. Possibly like I did earlier when I rolled an insight to see which path I should take. Can I do that again?
Yes.
That's a nat 20. A 33.
Every fiber of your being is telling you to take the center path. And you're guessing that if Azarus takes the path he is currently on course to walk upon, that maybe you don't really know what's going to happen, but you start to walk towards the middle. Do you want to try and like force your way past him? And because the path is kind of narrow.
Yes, maybe I would force my way past him, and then I'd pull him behind me. Like, you're not going over there. You're coming with me.
I'll try to help.
I'm
As
confused.
you're pulling him away, you hear the whispers grow in sort of, they're becoming a bit more clear, and you're hearing something to the effect of blasphemy. There's a lot of the word blasphemy being thrown around. And in fact, Azarus, as you're pulling him away from the path he wants to go on, he is whispering to you, but this is what has to be. This is my path. And when you start to pull him away, there's a noticeable change in his physical form when you all do finally set on the path that you're leading them to, Zara. You see, like, his form get a little, maybe slightly older. His clothes become a little bit more filled out. He gets maybe a little taller, a little broader. And his eyes glow with his SMR glow. Just a little bit brighter. He doesn't notice this, it seems. He's just continuing to speak to you in riddles.
Well, I'm just going to continue making sure he stays on the path.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, you're all narrowly staying upon this sort of bridgeway between nothingness and your own fates. And let me see what is next here. Okay, so you're traveling this way. Kind of, Zara, you're leading the way. Azarus is right behind you. You keep having to pull him away from specific paths. You don't always see like a trio of 3 paths or anything that would indicate that you're getting anywhere. Because it keeps like repeating. You find junction after junction after junction, each having its own specific path that you want to take. And this goes on for what you all perceive to be hours on end.
Listen, Zarafine is pretty hard-headed, and she's used to just doing, like, not straying from her goal. So she is just going to keep going. And if any of y'all complain, she's just going to ignore your complaining and keep going.
Eventually, the path that you form together, walking forward, it's getting a bit wider, a little bit more threaded, more dense. And eventually, the darkness breaks, and your path slopes upward, just a little bit. And you're kind of in awe as before you, this path slopes up and connects to another very large platform, but the atmosphere around this place seems a lot less oppressive. It's as if some kind of external force is keeping the darkness that you've been traveling through at bay, in sort of like a radius effect, if you will. But it's vast. It's like you just stepped out of. It's like kind of being hidden in a waterfall of darkness, and then you just kind of take a step out, and it's just fresh air. And this space does not come without a bright light at the center. And the path that you're on is widening even more as you continue forward, and it connects with this main central platform. It's very similar to the one that Azris is waiting for you on, but you notice that as you get close enough, the light that you see awaiting you on this platform is not really so much a light, but when you get close enough, you notice that it is a chaotic whirlwind of strands of fate interplaying with one another, swirling in place at this central point within the platform, like a tornado. And it's big enough where it could be comparative to maybe like a gargantuan-sized creature. It's not a creature.
Specific?
Yeah, it's not a
So what's
creature,
there?
but at least not in the sense that you might think. I already described to you what it looks like, but what is also interesting is that behind it is a silhouette that's kind of shaped like an arch, like a door. It's barely noticeable amidst the atmosphere in a way that suggests that it might be kind of ethereal in a sense. You can see bits and pieces of it from time to time, just as the light shifts, or you maybe catch it at a certain angle. You know that it's there, and you see its outline, but it's almost as if it's not there. And that's when you all kind of get to the platform itself. And what do you do?
Okay, so we have a big glowing light that has an outline, but also doesn't have an outline right in front of us.
It's sort of like a whirlwind of strands of fate. Yeah, it's like little silvery tendrils that are kind of wrapping around each other and doing these weird little zigzag movements, and it's all collectively like coalesced into one central spot. And then behind it, yeah, there's like this sort of vague ethereal silhouette of some kind of a door.
Anyone have identify?
I might have
Fortunately,
identify.
Yeah, I have.
Hey,
I had it.
it's all right, Keel. We'll get it back.
I do not.
We
have
can find you a new source of power. One that isn't trying to actively kill us.
Useless.
You're not useless. You're just depowered for now.
he's
Yes.
Could I do an insight check on the thing of light? Like a feel for it.
Sure.
Yo, same.
Yes, you can.
Hell yeah.
Yes, you can.
Sorry, I'm like muting and unmuting myself, by the way. So if you don't hear me talking, just tell me I'm muted because I probably have forgotten. I'm just eating. I don't want you guys hearing my mouth sounds.
Okay.
Mhm.
So
The stream wants to hear it though.
Yo,
I
500
hear you.
bits for Gamer Girl eating noises.
So this thing, it seems to be kind of like you're not sure if it's an environmental phenomena or some kind of elemental or primordial being of some kind. But you do know that it appears to be sentient because you're getting a feeling from it. It's almost welcoming you, like it's expecting you, and it's not hostile.
You know what? Sid's gonna say hi in his weird voice. After getting that feel from it.
This thing kind of pulsates a little bit, and the light, it's almost like it's breathing. And then everyone hears it. And it's not a sound, it's a voice. And it's inside your head. You stand at the threshold. A long journey, fractured and uncertain, has led you here. You carry within you echoes of a greater whole, sparks of a power long dispersed. Who are you to step towards the door? And you guys can basically either speak or telepathically respond, however you want to do it. But it sounds like this thing is talking to you inside your heads. At the same time, it's like making these weird little undulating movements and pulsating light brighter and then dimmer.
Whatever they sound like.
Do I know? We obviously don't know like what we are yet, but like Zarafi knows that she has a shit ton of light emanating from herself, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like she's been told she had to light the way.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So I guess Zarfine would probably respond something like, I am the light that leads the way out. I don't know. Just because this thing seems like it wants a poetic answer. I don't know.
It just simply responds with, yes. Together I perceive the animus that wills change, the inward shadow that knows true perception, the outward luminance that radiates inherent worth, the eternal flame that fuels all ambition, and the aether whisper that bridges realms. You are, in essence, an unraveling of unity. So he used those specific portions. You notice that he does not mention the spark of creation.
Well, I think I could make a guess for the Aether Whisperer now.
Yeah, it would be Jane.
Yep.
Hey, good job, Jane.
What is Aether again? Sorry, I'm dumb.
It's basically the magical energy that permeates the cosmos that allows spellcasters to draw upon the weave and cast
You know
spells.
what? Now that I know what that is, that makes a lot more sense than what I was saying.
So Jane is the physical representation of that connection in the cosmos. And it also is interestingly fitting that she's from the Feywild.
Yeah, because it's magical there, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yep.
Lotto magic, yeah.
What's your face? Shit.
So, what do y'all do?
You know, you're pretty cool.
It's literally just floating there, saying nothing until you respond.
Just kind of creepy.
It seems that you're not sure if it's waiting for you to talk to it or if it's only responding to like feelings or what you might think, because this thing does seem to be inside your head.
Oh, guess I will say this. We are the ones that are here to change the fate from what it once was to what it can now be without him.
There's a bit more of a turmoil, and it says, "Behind me is a door. This door is not merely passage. It is a crucible, forged by the Keswick, a failsafe, a weapon, a point of infinite possibility where destinies can be rewritten. But it demands more than strength. It demands synthesis. It demands understanding. Truth held deep within." Anything you guys would want to say to that?
I don't know what that means.
I'll say it again. This door is not merely a passage. It's crucible. It was forged by the Keswick, a failsafe, a weapon, a point of infinite possibility where destinies can be rewritten. But it demands
A
more
weapon
than
against
strength.
what? A weapon against what?
Vagos?
Maybe there was something.
Hasn't the Keswick had a thing about Vagos this entire time?
They have.
Yeah.
But how long have they known about Vagos?
So you don't know.
My question has not been answered. Of a weapon against what? I ask.
Yeah. It says the anti-fate.
And also out of character, we do know they knew about him for quite a while.
They knew he would come. They knew he was like inevitable.
And that he also changed the fate beforehand to at least delay him.
So in essence, allowing him to happen allowed fate to happen, and in turn allowed you to rewrite it.
Yeah.
Yep. Because if I remember correctly, it was the original fate was he wins. But Katri's mother changed that and delayed it.
Because you weren't ready. You were too young.
So it wouldn't be out of the realm for this weapon to be for Vagos.
Potentially, yeah. A lot of the dots are connecting.
A failsafe against what?
And he says
Still anti-fate?
The anti-fate, yes. Like the sort of... And then he says, the unmaker. The ill-wisher. You are
What's the key?
He says, you are fragments of Linetra, the shattered architect of creation. Her final spark. It lies dormant within all of you, awaiting reunion. To pass this threshold, you must demonstrate mastery over the very elements of your being. You must prove that the individual echoes of Linetra can sing as one, that your disparate parts can forge a new, complete whole.
What a character clarification.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't want to know if we individually have mastered. It wants all of us, like, to show that we can work, like, make our parts into a whole.
One. Yeah.
And that right there is essentially the spark of creation.
Oh, okay. The spark of creation is the coming together of Linetra, essentially.
Think of it like this. You all hold this is going to blow your fucking mind. So Sid is the perfect embodiment of this concept because he has the twin flames inside him. Two separate souls living in tandem, side by side, unbreakable as one. But he still maintains his own individuality. So does everyone else. But collectively, you form another person.
And that alone creates it.
If Lenetra is the goddess of life, death, and balance, she created life. She can create other things, including herself, through others.
Are we like so we're like little pieces?
You're like little pieces of the spark of creation, yeah.
Yeah.
The question is, how do we prove that we can become one?
We don't need to become one. We need to work as one, right?
You hear this thing say, "Do you possess the will to define ambiguity? Can you balance the light with the shadow? Is your flame truly eternal, and can it burn with unified intent? Do you hear the unseen whisper of connection in all these things?" And he said, or it says, "Prove your synthesis. Prove your understanding of what it means to create. Only then will the door open. And only then will you know the true power that lies beyond." So, how do you want to approach this? Because this is
I'm not
literally
gonna lie.
going to be a guessing puzzle game.
Tristan's brain does not do well with ambiguity. I'm gonna just be fully honest here.
Well, that's not. It's a good thing that's not your job. That's Keel's.
Oh yeah, I'm like, this is like, what the hell does that mean?
Akil just sits down and she folds her arms and looks away towards the light. She isn't a fan of riddles. She's having a temper tantrum.
You know what? Fair.
It's like create, right? And like you can create stuff in the Dreamscape by like thinking, right? Think real hard. What if we just all think real hard?
It's like the
I
movie
don't know how
Sphere.
Dreamscape works.
So hold up. What are the pieces? So Eternal Flame. So hold up. I'm thinking. The Eternal Flame is the passion and desire and the drive to keep going, no matter what. If I remember correctly.
Yep. It's the fire that burns within.
I mean,
Yeah.
so that we basically proved by our drive to keep going through this hellscape of a freaking dreamscape.
The darkness within and the accepting of it. We've already dealt with our past. We've dealt with the desires that we want to go through our temptation of Vagos, and we mostly dealt with them by accepting that they're there, but rejecting the promise of it getting better. We are able to live with the darkness in our souls. The outward luminance, not sure about that one yet. And the Aether Whisper, the seeing the connections between things unseen. We've kind of noticed that already. We can see the fact that the shard is connecting of both not the past, present, and future, but also all souls. We've all witnessed that, and we can all conceive of that.
Okay.
Ooh. What if we could also manifest our powers in others?
Manifest your powers in others.
Well, I mean,
What the hell?
Manifest to be
You're not out
one.
loud.
Yeah. No, two. I said that out of character.
Out of character? Can you say that in character?
Oh, okay. I think I've honestly been thinking about this for a while. As I said, would say, what if we can manifest our powers in each other?
Hmm.
How
I
would
wish
that work
Tristan was
exactly?
here. I had the best line for him for that.
Oh, I'm right back. No, I am.
Oh yeah.
I'm here.
Did you hear what Sid said?
Yeah.
Like, you mean I could have taught Zara how to punch something in the face this whole time?
Okay, let me just see here.
Not likely.
What we're going to do is we're going to have to break this down into literally 5 separate alternate realities that are going to occur at the same time, and it's going to be projected into your minds by this thing.
That sounds so fun.
I was just giving you a little
Ready
bit of
for the
RP
brain
moment.
to melt.
Giving you a little RP moment there so you could at least, start the brainstorming and speculation. But really, he or it was the true giver of the quiz, if that makes sense. So
He's gonna give us the answer, right?
no, he's going to give you, you'll see what he's going to give you. And that's not a euphemism. Okay. We're going to start with Keel. Keel. Kind of have your gaze looking down at the strands of fate beneath you, holding you up. You're kind of pondering, and you feel a strange sensation, almost like it's like not spider sense, but more like Keel sense. You have this instinct to just look around you because you feel like something's watching you. And you notice that your comrades are not there.
Guys,
Suddenly you see walls form from the strands of fate. They seem to be like growing them. And they're kind of forming a very familiar, after a while anyways, scene, or at least place from your memory. It's the very place that you remember devoting your existence to Vagos. And there is indeed a shadowy, well, not really shadowy, but it's almost like the strands of fate are real time, again, presenting sort of like a diorama. But life size.
I look at the table in which I was basically, what I see is born,
Mm-hmm.
and the dais in which I swore my oath to follow the plans of my, as I see, father. And I see like a visage of him, correct?
Yeah, he's standing behind the table. He has his arms raised up in the air, and he seems to be chanting something. His robes look fairly familiar, but the body on the table does not. In fact, it looks like a small child. And you hear some crying in the background. Just a child weeping. You hear continual growing whispers as you see Vagos reach into his robe and pull out a dagger. And you realize that this is not your initiation. This is a sacrifice. But you don't remember it this way. This is not it. It seems like maybe this can't be real. This is not something you remember.
Do I have any inkling of what the child on the table like is?
No. But what do you do?
I look at Vagos raising the dagger, and I just flash to like, what would Keel do? And Keel just thinks I would plead, but ultimately I would accept what's happening because it's Vagos' will. This is his will be done. But then I get a flash to a friend of mine who kind of doesn't like the thought of others' wills be done unto others, and I speak a name. I speak a name under my breath. Not that name. That was my daughter screaming as she went by.
Okay.
I didn't hear her, but cute.
I didn't hear her, but you know, it was probably cute.
It was cute. I speak this name as I try to embody, the person who I know would be best in this situation to stop somebody.
You see the body on the slab, the table, change as soon as you say that. And now things look familiar. But you don't really feel like it's familiar to you, if that makes sense. You see the dagger is not going to be plunged into the person on the table, but you do see this figure take the dagger and cut its own hand. And then another figure enters into the scene, shorter. And now you're realizing that this is not your memory. But the scene kind of like dies. It goes back down into the strands of fate below. Just kind of like sinks back down and becomes one. As this happens, everyone can see behind the being that is here with you, presenting all this to you. There's a door frame now. It's massive, and it appeared out of nowhere. But the thing is, the frame is still kind of vaguely there. It's coming into view, and there's like a strong outline, but the rest of it isn't filled in. And now you're starting to see very small, dark effects creating tricks of light that seem to look almost symbolic in nature, like maybe like a language or whatever. Mm-hmm. But it's around the door on the frame itself. You can't tell exactly what they are or what they say yet because they're still kind of like ethereal and opaque. But you definitely see the outline of a frame.
As she comes back, you guys just see Keela just stood up, and all of a sudden she looks exactly like Keltree.
Ah, what the fuck?
And then there were two.
I take it something happened?
Yeah, I was about to clock this guy. Was about to hurt somebody, but I couldn't get to him.
Says
fucking chuckles, couldn't even fucking get to him.
There's a voice in your head, Keel, that says, "You've done well. You embraced change and knew it was there before you."
With my head.
Does it sound like Keltree?
Yes.
I was about to say, I was like, what is going on with your voice? Okay.
You're doing very good, Keel, but you're missing the slight Elvish accent.
Oh,
All right.
I swap back to Keel. Sorry, I needed you for a second. My apologies.
So we're gonna now kind of shift into Jane's connection, or this challenge, if you will. Yeah.
Dokely, dokely.
Good luck.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. So suddenly, in the blink of an eye, for you, you don't see darkness, you don't see Fate's strands, you don't see your group, but you do see this. You're in this vast, open, energetic landscape of nothing. You don't see any land or water. You don't even see a sky. It's all sort of this multicolored, ethereal, sparkling, raw energy.
Is it like magical?
It certainly feels it, yeah. You feel like you've just dunked yourself in a pool of raw magical power. There is a... Let me just see here. There's a lot of crisscrossing and abundant, we'll call them ley lines, if that makes sense. Maybe like distortions is another word for it, that you can see, and they're going all around the place. You notice that some of them have like patterns. We'll say with your passive perception that there's some that seem random, and then there's some others that work in tandem with nearby or adjacent kind of weird tricks of light. What do you want to do here?
I don't know. Like, maybe, like, can I try and, like, touch one of the ley line or, like, distortion?
Sure.
And, like, try and, like...
Yeah, you feel that you can move freely. It's almost like you're floating. And you just think and move your way in that direction. So we'll say that you get close enough to touch one. This one seems to pulsate wildly with an adjacent ley line that's like maybe probably like 10 feet away from you, out of reach, but still close.
Yeah.
And when you touch it, go ahead and roll me just a straight... what's your magical spell casting modifier? It's wisdom, right? Intelligence, so okay.
Intelligence.
Yeah.
Just straight intelligence?
Yep.
Wow.
Is it no, it's not a save. It's just regular intelligence. So that's actually not terrible.
If it was a save, I'd do a lot better. I have a plus 12 to that.
It's not technically a save because you're not resisting against anything. It's not harming you in any way. But what I will say is just your spellcasting prowess alone is enough to trigger this. When you touch it, you feel immediately this very strong bond with raw energy and power that you've never felt before. It just courses through your body. You feel its essence completely take over you, but it doesn't hurt. It doesn't there's no pain. You don't explode or anything, but you feel really warm, and you feel like you're channeling the cosmic energies through your body.
I feel like I'd try and channel that into, like, try and release it using, like, just, like,
where do you want to release it?
I don't know. Kind of just, what if I try and hit a different ley line with it, you know? Because it's, like, kind of just all energy around me.
Roll me a spell attack. Just a ranged spell attack.
Okay, so I have a plus 10. I'll just roll. 20. It's 26.
Okay. Immediately after you connect with one of these ley lines, it's like an instant for you, but it feels like an eternity because it feels great and you don't want to let go. And there's this limitless potential to it that's enticing enough for you to consider it for a moment, but then you just can't contain this energy anymore, and you loose a ray out of your hand that's continual, like it's almost like a beam from your hand, and it hits one of the close by ley lines, and then you just feel this almost like a concussive but not damaging one, like a and it's almost like you just got plugged into a fucking generator combined with the weave itself. So you immediately feel this very strong connection, and you've kind of formed what could be considered a bridge between two ley lines. And as soon as you do, like this instant connection, it feels good, but then there's a flash in your mind, a brief, very instant image of your comrades, and then it just goes away.
Was it like just them, or was it them like doing anything, or?
It was them kind of alongside you, not really paying attention to what you're doing, but as soon as that happens, you leave this space, and when you do, you leave it and return back to where you and your comrades were, but your hand is up in the air as if you just fired that beam. You remember doing it in that split moment. And you see now, everybody, anyways, that the door behind this being has started to form etchings of primordial runes around its frame. It seems to be growing more and more real as you each go through your trials.
That was a unique experience.
Yeah.
What's having you guys do?
I don't know.
I wouldn't even say you all are able to ask each other, because we'll say when each
Happening
of you,
simultaneously?
yeah, it's exactly, yeah.
I was muted. Me and Tristan said the exact same thing at the exact same time.
Brain cell strikes again. Let's go.
Brag about that lack of brain cells. Hell yeah.
It's so creepy. It's actually sometimes really creepy.
Happens so often.
For Sid, we are going to say that
You die.
your body and mind and the two souls within you are transported to a beach line. Very familiar. In fact, you hear a voice inside you of Samara. She says, "I always loved this place. I could come here and just forget about the day's sorrows. Let the waves wash away any problems I had." But Sid, inside you feel like this really immense, indescribable kind of sorrow that is washing over you. It's like you're witnessing a memory that you've never had in real time and being sad that it's gone. If that makes sense.
Okay. I get it.
So here's the thing. Your sorrow you feel starts to take over a little bit, and the sadness becomes too great. And then you are noticing that as you're standing on the shoreline, you see your hands are starting to light a flame. And your sorrow turns to hate. And you don't know why. The other voice inside you, Roland, he says, "We did not choose this path, Sid. You were forced into it."
Yes, I know.
And yet you still walk it. What are you really but a puppet?
I see Sid kind of just chuckles a bit. Well, in a way, we're all kind of puppets. But, excuse me. But, we can also make it how we want. This is our defining path. Whether we choose it or not, something we have to do.
You're talking about blind ambition.
That's how it was. But that's not anymore.
You hear Samara chime in. She says, "Well, come on. Ambition isn't a bad thing. You get things done. Isn't that what life is about?" And Roland just kind of, you feel this kind of, there's a sense of hate there. Because he still thinks, or at least part of you still thinks, that he's right. You didn't choose this. All of this was forced onto you. I mean, this is a path that, even though you want to fulfill, it wasn't one you maybe originally wanted to fulfill. Or maybe you didn't have a purpose. You don't know what Amamad was going to do with you after they had successfully built you.
Mm-hmm.
They were running tests, experiments, all that shit, and then they found you to be a success, so they tried to duplicate it. Only try to make you better. But that's not you. So, you're still standing on the shoreline. Your hands, they have... now you look down at them and there's blood on them. And Roland says, "Look what you did. Your ambition has obstacles, and it always will. You can't deny that blood is the path to a goal."
Yes, I would not deny it. No matter the path we walk, a lot of people will get hurt. But we walk it for the betterment of everyone. Those whose blood has been spilt, I will not let their deaths go to waste. I will make sure this world is brought back. With my friends in tow, we will change it all.
The waves start to grow stronger, and they're starting to push and pull from the beach pretty violently. And it seems like the ocean itself is growing very tumultuous. There's a something is causing this. You're not sure, but there's a wind, and it's picking up pretty briskly, and you notice that there's like this feeling. You look to your left, and there's someone standing there. And it looks like the much more alive version of Leora, Samara's sister.
Okay.
And she has tears streaming down her face. And you hear her say, "So this is what you want then? You want me to accept what's going to happen, what you've chosen. Well, I'm not going to do that. Do you hear me? I hate." And she turns to you, and you can see like this black in her eyes. She says, "I hate that you have chosen this path." And there's like a little bit of you inside that is a little afraid, and also kind of at the same time sad.
Mm-hmm.
And that's when Samara says inside you, she says, "This is when I told her. This is when I betrayed my sister and told her I was going to become you, Sid. She did not want that. She was selfish."
I would say Sid went to her up after she says that. Say, in a way, she's not your family, and that means a lot to her. You may say selfish, but I see someone that cares deeply. And I feel like she might have known this was the right choice, even though she probably hated to admit it.
You see now that your blood on your hands has changed into a roaring flame that is taking over your whole body. And this time, both Roland and Samara inside you think and say the exact same thing at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Then so be it. We are one, Sid.
We are one.
And you kind of repeat it along with them. We are one. And just now, the waves have grown so large that like a tidal wave crashes over you and squelches the flames. And you kind of wake up in this space with your comrades. And this time, you look forward, and the door has formed a handle, and it's like this gigantic... it looks like a hand, and it's... I wish I could describe to you exactly what it looked like, but it is a hand knocker. And it's situated in the center of the door, and the runes have taken almost completely full shape and have filled in most of the background of the doorway, which is now, you see, sort of this dark earthen, sort of a gray or like a slate colored kind of, it looks like stone, the actual texture of it. And Keel, I mean, you've seen this door. This door is very familiar to you. Even though the outline is slightly different and you're now a lot closer to it, this door is very familiar. This is the one that Vagos tried to open. So, I really want to...
Keel's neck just starts sweating.
This seems like a good time to reveal this part. So, back when Vagos was alive, he was on this conquest to rewrite his own fate and all that shit, and try and take over from within. And the timeline about lines up. So, Keel, it is now apparent to you that Vagos' first attempt to open the door to tomorrow was going to be his way to kind of circumvent all of this regardless, but he couldn't get in. So he had to get into the dreamscape in the only other way possible. And what way is that?
Death.
There you go. He used death as a gateway to get into the one place that he was trying to get into.
You saying he killed himself?
I'm saying he knew exactly what he was doing when Azarus was there to stop him, and he was trying to crack the epicrystal. He essentially created his own doorway. But in doing so, he fucking fucked things so fucking much up. The epicrystal fractured, a shard broke off. The shard was the carrier of a plague that he essentially used to feed his own existence and power. So yeah, it's all coming together. I know. I don't know if people are speechless because they're like, what the fuck? Or...
That's cool.
The whole cacophony of fate
No
being
shit.
intertwined.
But anyways, now we will switch to...
No, like that's actually very interesting. I know it's just,
Yeah, it's kind of convoluted, I know, but it all connects.
Yes. Makes sense.
And now,
Sorry.
finally, let's go with... Well, what's interesting is this final part...
Finally.
Is,
There's
yeah,
two more party
don't
members.
you... Hey, you just hang on for a second.
Zarafine already proved herself. She gave you all weapons.
No, wait.
Okay. So, Keltri and Zarafine, you both open your eyes to...
Yin and yang, let's go.
Well, let's see here. See if I can describe this. There's a space that you both find yourselves in that is sort of a duality. Zara, you find yourself on a immense plane of light. And Keltri, you find yourself very close by on an immense plane of darkness. You're sitting facing each other.
Oh shit, we really are twins.
Well, yeah, I wouldn't go as... Yeah.
It's a joke.
No,
You know, and to think this all started just because we both had the same cloak.
Yeah.
So, here's where things are going to get a little interesting. Sorry, I have some notes here. I just want to get this right because this
You're
matters. Okay. I got it. Both of you are staring at each other. You can converse, it seems. You're able to, like, talk, and there's no, like, silence or anything like that. But...
So, just so,
Go ahead.
like, I can get the picture in my head. Are we just, like, so we're both sitting, are we, like, sitting cross-legged, just, like, staring at each other?
Standing is...
Standing, okay, because
Yeah.
I thought you said sitting, and I was just like, I don't know how we got to sitting, but okay.
Sorry, that's my
Yeah.
bad. If I did say that, that's
I don't
my
know why
bad.
I was thinking that. I was thinking that. I can fit. I can stand.
So think
Okay.
of if you were staring, say, like a piece of paper. On one side of the paper was complete black, and the other side was white. Split down the middle, it would literally be something like that. You're you're kind of
Okay.
standing in this vertical space, like a partition that separates the light and the dark. Keltry's on the dark side, Zaraphine's on the light.
Okay.
And there's this wavering, you can see the barrier that is keeping the light and the dark from spilling into each other. It's like wavering in some spots. You can see like little inky black bits start to seep a little into the light and bleed. And then the light on the other side is breaking away the darkness. It's like it's trying to meld on its own. But there's something like keeping it at bay. There's always this partition. What do you guys do?
I want to reach out. Like, so seeing it coming out, I kind of want to reach out and see if I can, like, touch him, like, hand to hand or, like, finger to finger. You know what I mean? Like, E.T. come home kind of style.
Oh,
I was gonna say, how far away from each other on these like platforms of darkness and light?
Oh, yeah, I suppose that makes it. That makes a
Well,
difference.
you're walking on nothing, which is interesting. But you're close. You could easily walk towards each other and right up to that invisible partition, like glass, and you could probably touch if that's what you'd like to do.
I kind of have a different idea.
Okay. What are you
Give
doing?
it to me.
Okay.
Whoa.
So weird thought. I've got prestidigitation because of my weird subclass. Like, so I think what Keltry tries to do is he conjures up like a little like orb of darkness in his hand. It's like all shadowy and smoky, and he kind of like.
Oh, you moves. Look at you.
Hey.
We literally have.
What?
Dual.
Okay. I was gonna turn mine into a ball and like play catch with you, but I like where this is going.
It's interesting. I like it. Okay, so continue.
Yeah.
Describe what you were doing.
Yeah. Keltrium like takes that like dark shadowy thing and coalesces it into a sort of solid ball.
I'll do the same with dancing lights. I'll turn it into a ball.
Okay. And what do you do after that? You can see
Just toss them at
that.
each other.
You're playing a game of
just,
catch.
Yeah, Keltry just smiles his R and says, "Think fast," and just pitches it at her.
I'll do the same thing, and I'll try to catch his.
When you do, you both toss at the same time, and the black and the white just kind of meet and go, and they kind of meld into one another and create this semi-fluid. I wouldn't call it a viscous substance, but more like a primordial ooze of energies, if that makes sense.
Kind of imagining like ink and water.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. And when that happens, suddenly it's like, oh my God. Imagine if Moses parted the Red Sea and you were walking along that path in between the two walls of water. Except these two walls are literally crashing within each other. It's no longer like a little bleed or a little spark here. It's you guys are pushed together in this intense kind of almost bludgeoning effect where the force is so great that the black and the white connect and push both of you together, and suddenly your consciousness is just like it's cut for a moment. And suddenly you both emerge back into this space with your comrades, but you two are facing each other a mere couple feet away, and you look as if you just like you were frozen like mid-toss like this.
Just to be cute, I do prestidigitation again to hold up Zarfine's ball.
Oh, the light one.
Yeah.
I can't do that. I don't got anything to give myself shadow.
You can just make yours black.
Can I with the dancing lights?
Yeah, why not?
It doesn't really tell you.
You can choose what color.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you can choose what color they are. So like.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. I'll do the same thing then.
You know me that I've always said if it's not stated in the spell description that it's possible.
Yeah, yeah. So I have a black ball that sheds dim light.
Yep. Okay. And as soon as you all snap out of your momentary instances of experience, there's like this bright flash, and the being that was before you, this like floating substance, actually disperses and shoots towards the door, and it starts to disperse itself and like create all these different little small connections between the physical reality of some parts of the door and others, and it starts to actually mold the door and create the physical instance of the door. The runes light up, the exterior, the archway, everything. It just bursts into physicality. And now you are realizing that maybe this thing, this entity that kind of provided this opportunity for you, may have been... I'm not going to say anything yet. We'll wait. We'll wait until you talk with Miley again. But keep that as a reminder, because this will be interesting. Anyways, you're all standing in awe at this fucking massive iron door, or stone door. It looks a little kind of like both, but you're not sure of the composition. And the space around you continues to remain, like vast and open, but still dark. Strands of fate still at your feet. But the door remains closed. What do you all do?
My awe is purely through fear.
So how, just so I can get like a visual, I think this door, is it like sorry, my brain was not functioning there for a second. Is it like statue big, like it's like Empire State Building big, or is it like
it is probably Citadel big, like like
Dang.
think the main gate that the Nazgul came out of in Lord of the Rings when they were first sent out to go hunt for Frodo.
So you're talking like 20 people tall.
Yeah, pretty big.
Okay. 20 people tall.
well, I gotta go try and push it open.
Yeah.
As you go forward, like he'll literally like grabs your guys' arms, like, please be careful.
What's up?
I always am.
You get closer to the door. As you do, there's these whispers again. And they are saying, it's time. It's time, it's time, it's time. It's over and over and over again.
Well, I'm still gonna try to open the door.
I'm right there with you.
Wait, pause. Wait,
Go
hold
with
up. Pause,
Keltry.
pause. Is Azarus helping us open the door?
Yes. Are you getting? Are you?
Guys?
Wait. Okay. Hang on. Yeah. Are you picking up what I'm putting down?
I think I am. Guys, I don't think Azarus is Azarus.
Oh, what? What?
Hmm?
Oh, that's an
This is the
interesting
door
take.
tomorrow.
This is the door to tomorrow, and Vagos failed all these time ago because he didn't have the parts of the soul, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Keltry moves away from the door.
That's the
Yes.
Okay, so he would need all the parts of the soul to be able to do it, correct? Our number one question is how the hell did Azarus get here? Why did Vagos send us here after that large explosion and all of a sudden Azarus is here?
Oh, so you're thinking that we should
Usually-
not open the door.
You know, usually, Azure just shows up places, but Keltry is, looking very hard at Azarus right now.
You you see Azarus. He has his hands placed on the door. He says, "Come on, what are you waiting for?"
Can I insight him?
You can.
Same.
I will also incite him.
My
I'm
passive
saying it's not
perception's
pretty point.
23.
I might
Or
as well.
Passive, I guess passive.
Hey, yo, what the
would be a-
fuck?
Would be a 23, but
Mm,
18.
Pretty much all of you, actually, except for maybe Sid. He has been kind of somewhat quiet and a little reserved, and that's not. I mean, that is definitely
That's Azarus.
in line with Azarus, but
There's something off.
Well,
yeah,
unusual?
you feel that there's he seems a little bit too eager, maybe.
So Keel will have this realization in her head, and she will grab her sword and she'll point it at Azarus's neck.
I was just
He-
about to say the same thing, only with a dagger of light.
I was gonna be
Are you?
cueing him, asking some questions, but okay. I square the fuck up.
He appears to look away, still hands on the door, and he says, "I don't have time for this anymore. You all came here with me to open this door, and you will."
Can I question? Can I stab him?
We will say that you do stab him. It just goes straight into his chest or wherever you choose to stab him. It could be his throat, his face, his eye.
I want to slash that throat. Let's go.
That just goes through.
It just goes straight through. And there's this kind of a moment where this purple slight hue of energy envelops Azarus as the dagger of light that you plunge in him is kind of sticking out his neck. And he just turns his head and looks at all of you. He says, "You will not stop me here."
And
Back away from the door. I get a.
I'm gonna. Can I? Here's the thing. I'm calling on my bullshit. I can punch Ghost. Can I just grab him and start pulling him away from the door?
Well, technically, I would allow that if this was a surprise.
Yeah, fair enough. And we already used that to cut him. That's fine.
All right, fine. I'll just shit
Let's all
talk him
just
up.
back off the door. Let's all just back off the
Yeah.
door.
Yeah.
And he
I'll just shit talk
turns,
him
and
up.
you see parts of Azarus is falling away to be replaced with. Well, Keel, you recognize this form, as Vagos very much adopted this form pretty much everywhere he went. Just robed. He has black leather gloves on. He's got a partial face mask that is a skull. Essentially, it's like half a skull. And he appears just as he did in real life. Kind of somewhat tall, maybe 5'10", 5'11", almost 6 feet. And he's a little broad-shouldered, not too great. He doesn't look built in the sense, but he looks like maybe just kind of average, if not
Athletic.
a little bit above athletic for his race. You never discovered his race, but you figure there's a good chance that it was either human or elf because of the demographic of Eisenfell. So,
We were a party of elves for the longest time. No kidding.
yeah.
And then I joined in.
Yep. So this figure kind of bursts into existence. You notice immediately that there's a small little connection between the strands of fate at your feet with this, with him. And it seems to be helping form his shape. And he is, he looks at you and he says, "Too long have I strained and stressed to get here. This door is closed and only she can open it."
Me?
She.
No,
He doesn't
naturally.
he doesn't point to anybody or talk about anyone specific, but
Okay.
yes,
Just
he
she.
seems to be talking about Linetra.
Okay.
Okay.
And if you
Question.
are her, you will open this door. Even if
Why?
I have to make you do it myself.
Question. The strands at his feet making him. Is there any
Vagos.
way to harm the strands?
Okay. Kelchi just goes, "Vagos, when the fuck have you ever been able to make us do anything?"
Well, there was that fight last time.
No, that was bullshit.
It's like,
Hold
well,
up,
he
hold up.
did just kind of thrust us into the dreamscape.
Go ahead, Tristan, you said first.
Yeah, no, I don't know if you heard me, but the strands that are making him like up, is there any way to like cut at the strands and see if that does anything? I don't actually know, but
Well, I
After
mean,
what she does, I also have a question.
none of this is.
Real.
Yeah, I haven't had you roll initiative yet, but
Yeah, and this also so
I'm gonna say that in answer to your questions, Arafine, you don't know. But it's certainly possible. You've already seen yourself rewrite your own fate. So
this is a really stupid question.
why is it stupid?
It's actually to the players. Do we want to see if we could Captain Earth for a second to bring out the freaking?
I don't know what
Linetra?
Captain Earth is.
It's like our powers combined.
Captain Planet.
Wonder
Planet, thank
Super.
you.
Yeah,
Captain
okay,
Planet.
gotcha.
I mean, here's the thing. Last time Linetra came out to fight, it didn't end well.
Yeah, but we have a physical. We actually have a physical possible host.
Ooh.
Keel,
Put
who
your hands
is
on
no
me.
longer.
Oh boy. So, I personally thought we were going to get to this portion of this session a little bit later, like a touch later, but we're here now. I don't have the battlefield ready.
You're fine. We can end it here if you'd like.
Yeah.
Only 22 minutes.
But what we will
You're
do
16.
is we will say that Vagos will step away from the door and follow everyone backing up. It's kind of funny. He is not fucking around at this point, and I'm sure neither of you are. And
So the main reason I'm asking about the Captain Planet thing is because I'd like to have a patron going into this fight.
Yep, I agree. So that's what we're gonna do.
Guys, I have a really weird idea. I know this is gonna sound weird, but gotta trust me here. Touch me.
Does everybody touch Keel?
There is a
Sure.
Yeah.
there is a like momentary pause where Keltry just looks at Keel, like 2 seconds past, and then palm straight to the face.
I'm
I
touching.
put mine on top of her head
Okay.
like a child.
It's like, oh, look at you.
I kind of also want to slap Keel.
All right, so this is
I just
literally
have two on my.
a Keel slap fest.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know if Zarfine would actually want to touch her, but just Tristan out of character wants you to have powers, so we're gonna do that.
Okay.
Captain Planet into Keel.
Because Keel's been very sus for the last,
I am now 100. I am now 100% your guys's. I'm no longer.
Yeah, that's
connected
true.
to
You
the
can-
main villain.
You can hear voices come from Sid's mouth that are, again, not his own, but definitely in tandem together at the same time. They say, "We are with you." And I think that in this moment, as you all touch, there's this energy. Like, it's almost like you all touched a car battery and there's like this little jolt, like a zap. And Keel, you
Yes.
feel your body convulse, and it's like you're going through this massive change, all sorts of different times, changing in all these different things that you've done before, and like through memory or touch, your body is going crazy right now. Blah, blah. It's like spilling forth a new thing every moment. And then finally, it all starts to like contain itself. And you hear a voice in your head. A soft and gentle female voice. Says, "We are one now. You channeled the last remaining bits of my power, Keel. I give it freely." And I think
I'm
that
going to say, as she says that, a giant sword appears into Keel's hand.
Ew. Wait, so is Lenetra now her patron?
Yes.
yes, Lenetra lives on through all of you, so technically she's not dead.
And Keel's going back to the blade now?
Not book still. Sorry, a book appears in her hand. I want this to sound anime for a second, but I'm keeping the book. It's cool.
And so we are her patron.
Yes.
Yep.
The power
So
of
is that.
friendship.
We can now demand overtime.
You have learned that you act as one. You are one in spirit, mind, and technically body now. You are your
Within
own
Keel.
individuals, but you are also Lenetra. And that's where we're going to end it.
Whew.
I can't believe last second it finally clicked. Wait a minute. This is Vigos.
Yeah, I was wondering at some point, like, hold on, Vagos is gonna do some fucky shit here because he wants this door open.
Yeah,
Like, where the hell is
I
he?
was, yeah, I was looking at the angles like no, this is gonna go bad. Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
Why are we do? Wait, Azris has been pushing us to do this.
Also,
I just thought after we took Azarus away from the path he wanted, I was like, oh, we're good now.
I had reservations about that because I was like, hold on, why are we taking him off that path again?
I'm just glad you guys figured it out. You know what you were doing?
We were keeping him away. Yeah.
He was meant to go a certain path in order for his oh my god, This is going to
Is
blow
the
your
Lord.
mind. So, the past Azarus interrupted Vagos' ritual.
Yeah.
If past Adris continued on that path, he would have interrupted Vagos' ritual. You pulling him away was you physically, actively changing that fate. So if you had opened that door, all would have been lost. So I am very
I
glad
the fate we changed,
that you
so the
figured
fate
that
we
out.
changed was the fate we changed was Azra stopping him.
Which
The fate you
I mean,
almost changed was Azra stopping
Right,
him.
right.
That was just one way of him trying to solidify his power.
As God,
Yep.
yeah.
now,
So I'm glad you figured
we
that out.
take-
So clappies.
now we take the cheese grater to Azur. No, not Azurus. To Vagos' face.
Well, and then
Yep.
I also look because like what's Matt was just like, wait a second. It sounded like Zim was very confused, and so I was like, wait, that's not his plan because Zim just sounds confused. And then all of a sudden, Zim was just like, no, you got it. And I was like, oh no,
Please,
I read the
please
vibes
tell me-
wrong.
Please tell me I didn't sound like a crazy person in the middle of that speech.
Oh, of course you did.
didn't, but I didn't think you did because once you started talking, I was like, that makes sense. But Zim was like, what? And I was like, wait, was this not the plan then?
Well, because it wasn't like completely obvious, like because that's the thing.
I tried
It's
not
like-
to make it obvious.
You didn't like it was kind of like weird, but like I accept like oh it's just Nazar's thing, like this happens with Nazar sometimes, he just appears
Well, yeah.
sometimes.
And
'Cause-
Azurus is
'cause
just
that's what he's done in the
weird like
past.
that.
Yeah, that's what Zim has done in the past. So
And I
know that,
even
Azarus is used
specifically
as a
asked-
sacrifice.
I even specifically asked, like, what Azarus is this? Is this the past, the like like I remember asking, like, what is he doing here? And Zim just gave a very vague Azarus like answer.
Yeah, and I was just like,
I
oh
did-
yeah, no, this sounds totally like Zim and Azarus. Like this is,
I
but
did.
no.
I also wanted to like butt in like what, like again during that part where it's like, oh, he's going his own path and like we're pulling him back. I was like, wait, hold on, like hasn't our whole thing this time been like walking our own paths? Why are we stopping him from doing that? But I
I
was
just
like, no, this
trusted
is.
it because
I was
Azarus
just like,
told
this is
me.
Zara's moment.
Here I am smiling my
question.
thumbs up. Yeah.
I
Because
literally
you-
just
you-
trusted it because Azarus has never steered us wrong before, and he
Never.
was just like,
Never.
"Don't let me go my own path," and I was like, "Okay."
Yeah, no, it was
That should have been.
crazy.
That sounded sus as fuck, and I should have said something.
Wait,
You
Also,
should
in
have.
a way,
Kristen's too dumb.
I'm sorry.
Wait, one more thing.